Basically, I'm an instructor here at Lincoln Tech, which most of you know already, which are my students. Secondly, my credentials, not only I've been an instructor for the last 10 years in different fields. I've been a Lincoln Tech EST instructor for the last 8 years. Well, 8 years, 3 of those years I've spent developing this program called Your Role in the Green Environment. Okay, I was one of the first and few instructors in the beginning, Lincoln Tech wide and NCCR wide, that actually put down this curriculum together. So a lot of the slides you'll see will actually be coming from me. Okay, basically Your Role in the Green Environment. Okay, it's the actual course that we run. All right, our overview. This lecture is to help you know, is to understand how daily activities can and will affect the environment. 2, you can learn how to reduce your carbon footprint. The main thing that we need to understand is, for us to reduce our carbon footprint, we need to find out what is our carbon footprint. And in this lecture, I'm going to attempt to actually show you what your carbon footprint is. Now, the actual calculations individually that you can actually do for yourself. Okay? But today, I'm just going to actually go over a few things. First thing, prioritize your actions and determine which ones matter most for the green environment. Okay? We have to think green. What things can we do as an individual can actually get us into the green environment? Okay? Simple things every day. Carpool. Okay? Right. Carpool. Recycling. Those are big things that are out now. Okay? Natures have changed. Now, what changes our environment? Some things that we can't control. Natural change. Natural change can come from changes in seasons. Okay? Most of us notice, right? Seasons have changed. We only have 2 seasons nowadays. We only have summer and winter. We have it to fall and spring. So quick that we don't even realize that it actually happened. Right now, we should be getting ready to go into fall. It's still 80 degrees outside. Okay? It's raining like it's spring. What's going on? All right? Our environment has changed. And not only has it changed for our environment, there are animals that are actually don't know what's going on. Okay? Everything is kind of like haywire based on our environment. But those changes we can't control. That's nature. It's going to change anyway. Nothing stays the same. Secondly, severe weather. Changes, example, hurricanes. We just had a large hurricane came through the area. It changed the environment. It changed it a whole lot. Some cities are underwater right now, okay, and there are people trying to bail out. So natural changes change our environment. Floods and hurricanes, right? Flooding. You get a lot of water everywhere. That changes the environment. It was dry, now it's wet. All right? You used to have a nice, clean community. Now you got swampland. Okay? It is what it is. Global warming. Global warming. It's hotter than it was. All right? Statistically taken, it is hotter on this planet than it was, say, 50 years ago. How's that? What adverse effect is that on us? The polar caps are melting. Okay? When I'm talking about polar caps are melting, actual glaciers the size of Texas has just fell off and melted into the ocean in Antarctica for a fact. Now, if we take ice and we melt it in a glass of water, what happens to the water? It rises. Okay? Statistically speaking, all right, these are from actual experts in the field, okay, says that Florida will probably be, the coastal area of Florida will be underwater in the next 20 to 30 years. Okay? It's fact. Okay? All right? You can go right now to the Jersey Shore, all right? Some of our older students here, we had a discussion yesterday about it. I remember when the beaches were bigger than they were now. You go there now, and I'm looking at it as a kid, like, wow, the beaches are gone. Right? They actually have to put sand on the beach to make the beach back up. Why? The water level is rising. Okay? It's happening. All right? Sooner or later, Pennsylvania may be beachfront property. Just saying. Okay? Man-made changes. Now, that's natural change. There are changes that we affect. Man-made changes. Urban sprawl. What's urban sprawl? Anybody know?
Urbanizing.
Urbanizing. Taking forest area and converting it into what? Gated communities. Happens all over, right? That's urban sprawl. Now, what changes that? That changes the environment. Cut down trees. We lose trees, and we lose animals. Animals got to leave. People and animals can't live together. Like, you know, the story with the bears that are all over the place. What happened to the bears? We didn't leave. They were walking through Maplewood. Did we leave? They left. We killed them all, all right? They're not going extinct. However, that just shows you an example of urban sprawl. That was a fact of urban sprawl. Refining. Stripping materials out of the land. okay? Digging it up. One of the things that a lot of people don't know, gypsum that's on the wall, that's dug out of the ground, okay? Is it damaging? Yeah. Anything you take out of the mineral, you take out of the ground, that hurts the environment, that hurts the earth, okay? There are certain things that we have to dig for, all right? But there's certain things we don't have to if we recycle and be conscious of our green environment. Deforestation, cutting down of trees, okay? Our industry directly affects our cutting down trees because we build them, right? Building boom of about 4 or 5 years ago, that stopped about 4 or 5 years ago. There was a building boom, if you guys didn't know, younger guys. They were building houses left and right, okay? All that wood, where did it come from? The trees. They cut down trees. One thing that trees do that a lot of people don't know, not only, okay, they take up what? What do they live off of? Carbon dioxide. They also keep the planet cool, right? Has a lot to do with global warming. See how man-made is affecting nature, right? So you cut down the trees, the planet temperature is starting to go up, okay? Deforestation, fossilized fuels, result of urbanization. When you live in the suburbs, you have to drive. How many New Yorkers here? How many people live in the city? You don't have a car, right? Why you have a car? Because you can catch a train, you catch a bus everywhere you go. The city is more greener than the suburbs, and we think, oh, the suburbs is more green because technically it's green. Not so technical about it, because you got to drive a car to go to the grocery store. Every time you start up that car, you're putting out toxic fumes out into the air. If you're driving a car, all right, that's driving with fossilized fuel. Now they come out with new cars that run on electricity, so that may change a little bit. Desert certification. If we don't take care of our natural resources, the land dries out, okay, called drought, and then we can become a desert. Very easy. It's happened in a lot of places. A lot of places were green at one point, now they're deserts. Okay? Global climate change. Greenhouse gases causes of fossilized fuel and urbanization. There it is, urbanization. Some of us, most of us in Jersey live in places like that. That's where our cities are, okay? So we're a product of it. We didn't know, we just moved in, all right? That's a nice neighborhood for us. A lot of trees died, a lot of things happened to build that there. Developers have developed areas that are no longer habitable by animals. Water conservation, okay? Nice picture of human waste, okay? All right? Water conservation. The average American household is responsible for 3,500 pounds of garbage, 45,000 gallons of wastewater. Of that, 9,000 gallons per year is used to flush away 230 gallons of waste. Now, this statistic that I'm actually giving you, all right, is missing a little bit. Of this planet, of all the water here on this planet, only 3% is drinkable water. Okay? Think about that. Right? Only 3% is drinkable water. Right? So, if we're using water that we drink and we only got 3% of it to flush away waste, okay, we're wasting a lot of water. At that rate, we're going to go thirsty very soon. Okay? I was watching a program, all right, and they were talking about natural disasters that could wipe out mankind. Okay? Nuclear. People say if we run out of fuel, if we had a global warming where everything just turned it Arctic, you know, and we would freeze to death. But the one guy said that would take us out in 5 days, all mankind, is if we run out of water. Think about that. If we had no more water on the planet, we would die of thirst that quick. Okay? So it's really important when you start talking about water. All right? Carbon footprint, how much water that you use. Okay? Deforestation. Okay, trees going down in record numbers, all right? Global warming is heating up. No more trees. At some point, trees put out a lot of things. The food we eat, carbon monoxide, they help scrub and make the air that we breathe, okay? They create oxygen, right? So we're actually suffocating ourselves. A lot of things to think about, all right? Picture right here, okay? Great picture. A lot of people don't know what this is. What this is about 5,000 square acres of forest land. The light areas are where they cut down trees. The dark areas are the only trees that remain. Okay. At some point, I don't know where this is. At some point, 5,000 acres, which is a whole lot, which is probably the size of Union. Okay, Union, New Jersey, will be minus trees. Is it a good thing? I don't know. We're talking about global warming. It ain't too good. Okay. You wonder why it's getting warm. Okay. Products we use every day. Right. Take this plastic bottle right here. Okay. I love using when it has water. Water is natural, but the plastic that it is isn't. If you put this into the ground and dug it back up, it will remain the same thing that you put it into the ground. It doesn't even, it's not even biodegradable. Okay? The point I'm trying to make is everything that we use has an inherent energy source, meaning how much energy it took to create this. Okay? If we balance that out to an energy with fossilized fuel, that's a lot of energy, including the truck that put it into the truck and the fuel that they used to take the truck and drive it from Poland, Michigan to bring it here. Okay? So you have to really think about the things that you use, how much inherent energy that it requires. Okay? If we recycle this, the inherent energy goes down, is because now we use the same bottle over and over again. Right? We use less energy. Trucks don't have to drive all the way here. We just go to a recycling plant, they melt it back down, make it in a bottle, and they refill the bottle. So recycling has a lot to do with the things that you use. Recycle, recycle. That's a big thing. Okay? Fossilized fuel, big crisis. Matter of fact, it's probably the #1 thing that is causing the daily headlines today. Fossilized fuel. I'm talking about oil. Okay? Oil crisis. There's one happening right now. Okay? We have to come up with a solution, not only as a country, but as a people globally. We have to wean ourselves off of fossilized fuel. Okay? Else it's going to take this planet out of here. Period. Okay? Ways of doing it. Most of you sitting in here today, your whole thing is you're ready to get into the solar energy, right? I'm assuming, right? All you want to go and do solar panels. Well, not only is it a good job, not only is it profitable for you, but you're saving the environment for your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Think about that as you get into the field. I would like to see more students more zealous about what they're doing, not just coming out here finding a job. Get more into it, okay? Because the force that's driving this green initiative is your generation. It's up to you guys to really change this thing around that we left behind for you, okay? So awesome responsibility, but guess what? It's yours. Nothing else to do with it. You are the future leaders. Fuel reduction. Reduce equipment idling. If you're just sitting, turn off your car, reduce fuel waste. Real easy. Cut your car off. Why are you sitting there having your car run? I understand when it's cold you need to run your car, but to just have it run for no reason? One, you're going to spend a lot on gas. You seen gas prices lately? It costs about more than a gallon of milk. Almost in some places, right? To just run your, I don't run my car. I'd be like, well, gas. I got to worry about gas. You're damn right. Okay. Species extinction. Okay. When we do urban sprawl, there are certain species. Do you know, as a matter of fact speaking, and I didn't know, that the American bald eagle is almost extinct? Did you know that? Yeah. Our national icon, our symbol, we almost killed it off. All right, they're making a comeback, but we almost did that. Okay, why? People were shooting them out. I guess they wanted the feathers or something. I don't know, stuff. They were killing America. They were killing the American bald eagle, almost extinct. There are other species that are on extinct list. Okay, why? We did. They were cool until we came along, killed their environment, and they died. Rainforest, cutting it down every day, every day. Okay, miles are being cut. Okay, all those species in there, okay, of animals are extinct. When they're extinct, that's it. They're gone. They're never coming back. Okay, and we're responsible for that. Desert certification, just like perfect example, sitting out there, was land, was water, now it's a desert. Okay, what is that? The direct thing is we use our water supply up. The water is no longer. Most of the water that we get, do you know where it comes from? From the mountains and from aquifers in the ground. Mountain ice caps and wells. Okay, that's 90% where we, the 3%, 90% comes from wells and polar ice caps. Okay, mountains, especially this area. We got the Watchung Mountain. That's where we get our water from, our natural water from. New York, they get it from a reservoir that's upstate, but yet it still comes from rain. Okay, so we do have water that comes from natural places, even though we live in the city. Aquifers. Aquifers are water that's under the ground. Okay, when you pour something on the ground, you got to be careful, because what you pour on the ground, you may be drinking it later on. Right? A lot of people don't think about that. Right? Just pour oil in the sewers and all of that. Well, you'll be drinking it soon. Brownfield. What is a brownfield? Contaminated land. Contaminated land. Okay. Land that has been contaminated is called a brownsfield. Okay. All right. Gas stations are pretty much one of the biggest brownfields out, because they take tanks and they bury it into ground. And if that tank ruptures, the ground is contaminated for years.
That's why they're only allowed in certain areas?
It's only allowed in certain areas. And when they close, they never have another one come there. It's years that they stay closed up.